皆さんこんにちは、ブルーオーシャンドームへようこそ。この後ですね、今日はスペシャルなゲストをお呼びして、オーシャンクリーンアップの皆さんと対馬市の、前田さんとブルーオーシャンドームの名誉館長のサラヤと3人のセッションを行っていきますので、どうぞよろしくお願いします。Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming to Blue Ocean Dome. Today we have a special session with the Ocean Cleanup and Tsushima City and Blue Ocean Dome. So please enjoy the session. Then now I'd like to welcome Mr. Monty Simons to the stage. Thank you, Monty-san.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Yamamoto-san. Let me begin by thanking Saraya-san, my colleague, Maeda-san, and all our esteemed guests and attendees this afternoon. It's a sincere privilege for me to represent the Ocean Cleanup in this beautiful venue and fantastic ocean dome, which brings so much attention and important education around the issue of marine life and plastic pollution. In a few minutes, I'm going to share a presentation that looks at the use of technology to activate what we call the world's largest cleanup. But before we do so, I have the privilege of playing a short video from our founder, Mr. Boyan Slot of the Ocean Cleanup, to kick off this very important discussion.
Konnichiwa, and thank you, Mr. Saraya, for inviting us to this very important gathering at the Blue Ocean Dome at the World Expo. Unfortunately, I'm not in the position to personally join you, but I still hope to share a few words with you this way. The World Expo has always been about innovation and collaboration, which are two of the essential qualities that we need to tackle the greatest challenges the ocean faces today. Now, the ocean connects us all, and it's vital for the future of life on our planet. But unfortunately, it's facing many challenges, in particular that of ocean plastic pollution. At the Ocean Cleanup, our mission is to rid the world's oceans of plastic. And in that, we believe that technology can be a tremendous power for good. We use technology both to intercept plastic in rivers before it reaches the oceans, and also to clean up the plastic that is already in the ocean. And after more than 10 years of work, we've now come to the point that the Ocean Cleanup has proven that its solutions are working by removing almost 40 million kilos of trash and stopping already between 2 and 5% of all the plastic that would have ended up in the ocean. And now it's about scaling it up, where our next step is that we're going to bring our solutions to 30 of the most plastic polluted cities on Earth, and with that stop up to 1/3 of all the plastic that's entering our oceans in the next few years. The Blue Ocean Dome highlights the importance of the oceans to a global audience, and I really believe that events like this can help catalyze change and unite leaders behind a common vision of clean oceans. Together, we can turn that vision into a reality. Thank you, and I wish you all a great and inspiring event.
Very good. So, as Mr. Slot mentioned, we're very grateful to have the chance to speak about innovation. And just before my presentation, I saw some very interesting examples of Saraya's innovation in packaging and materials. So this is a wonderful chance. Today, I'm going to focus around the use of artificial intelligence, drones, and remote sensing. This is in both our ocean cleanup work as well as our river work. And throughout my presentation, I have a few videos, so hopefully it'll be enjoyable. As Mr. Slot mentioned, the Ocean Cleanup, our mission is to rid the world's oceans of plastic. We are a non-profit organization that's based in Rotterdam, Netherlands, with approximately 150 employees, the most of whom are engineers, data scientists, hydrologists, and technical folks that are thinking hard about the challenges related to plastic in water. I don't have to tell the audience much about this problem since you've all walked through Dome B and seen the very impressive and emotional and important video. The problem of plastic and plastic pollution in the marine environments is large, it continues to grow, and it's critical. We find around the world ocean-bound plastic aggregates in 5 large areas. And then, of course, as you'll see in the presentation, it enters from a large number of rivers and urban watersheds. To give you a feel for what the ocean cleanup does, I have a very short video.
So at the Ocean Cleanup, our mission is to rid the world's oceans of plastic.
The real complicated part of this puzzle is that everything is interlinked.
What we need to do is 2 things. 1, we need to clean up the legacy pollution. 2, we need to close the tap.
Everyone's ready?
If we have the motivation and we have the skills, we will get there.
The first few years, we really focused on trying to understand the problem and map it, which then became the basis on which we developed our solutions. Our philosophy is to learn as we go and iterate our way towards success.
Good luck!
We have just passed the Golden Gate Bridge, the iconic moment.
Every hour is a small victory, and every plastic piece that we all catch is a small victory.
So we have a major structural failure.
This is normal. Welcome to the world of cutting-edge technology. The plastic is within arm's reach, literally. We can't be that far away from getting a system working.
Whoa! Here's all tiny particles also.
What is the next logical step?
Boyan always thinks about improving.
With this machine, I truly believe that we're on the right track.
Dirty river comes in, a clean river comes out.
That's a teddy bear.
This is the day, this is the moment, finally.
The time has come now to deliver on our promises.
It's so beautiful to see this.
Whoa! The most exciting thing in the world, to me.
We have shown that we are capable to repeatedly harvest large amounts of plastic. Let this mark the beginning of the end for the Great Pacific Garbage Patch.
Imagine if we do get this done, we could truly make our oceans clean again. That's a future to look forward to.
And that is indeed the future that we're working together with folks like ZERI Corporation and ZERI Foundation and others. So as Mr. Slot mentioned, we have 2 main missions at the Ocean Cleanup. First is to clean the legacy plastic out of the ocean. We do that work primarily in an area called the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, which is halfway between the state of California and the state of Hawaii. And we also do work stopping the flow of new plastic into the ocean from rivers at present in 9 different cities around the world. This is just a quick glance, once again, at the large ocean system. This is the solution which is used in the Pacific Ocean. If you stretched that large U-shaped curtain straight, it would be around 2.5 kilometers in length, and it is a depth of 4 meters in the ocean. This just gives you some examples of the technology that's actually integrated into our ocean solution. I'm going to spend a lot of time later in the presentation discussing some of them, but you'll see that we have a number of cameras integrated to collect imagery. We have a lot of drifters because we collect as much data as we do plastic. Our river systems were born out of the necessity to help prevent new plastic from joining that in the Great Pacific Garbage Patch and in other ocean gyres around the world. This image is from Kingston, Jamaica, where we've been working for a number of years to clean up Kingston Harbor. As this says, we are a science and technology-focused organization. And we spent a lot of time researching, understanding where plastic enters the ocean, And our research shows that there's 1,000 rivers worldwide that contribute around 80% of all global riverine plastic emissions. But it's not just enough to identify which rivers, because each river has its own very special characteristics. And so we then had to analyze those rivers to understand tidal movement, seasonality, if there's wind, if there's commercial use of the river. These are all different criteria that we had to understand in order to develop the best solution to remove plastic from that watershed. And we realized, for example, here in our deployment in Bangkok, Thailand, that in addition to solving and installing a solution on the river itself, in this case Chao Phraya, we also have to simultaneously develop solutions and install barriers on small side canals or tributaries that feed into the river. And the reason why this is so important is that every river, as I said, has a very different individual characteristic. So I'm now going to play a very short video. The video will run for approximately 30 seconds, but it's actually a time-lapse video. So it's compressing a series of just a little bit more than 1 hour of a river that we work in Guatemala. And you'll see, hopefully, why it's so important that we do the analysis to understand river characteristics. So what we call this is a trash tsunami. So this is the beginning of rainy season in Guatemala. The heavy seasonal rains start. All the plastic that has aggregated during the dry season comes flowing down at extremely high velocity. Again, this is all occurring in the span of just a little more than 1 hour's time. And it is piling up with immense pressure behind one of our river barrier systems. And we have to admit, we don't always get the answer right at the beginning. And in fact, the first few times we worked on a trash tsunami, we actually had our barrier destroyed. It blew right through the barrier. But over time, we've learned, and this actually is considered to be one of the world's most polluted rivers. So we take regular, this is not like a one-time-a-year occurrence. This happens almost on a weekly basis. So this is in Guatemala. Because of the different characteristics of rivers and the amount of pollution and plastic that might be flowing, we have developed 6 different river-based solutions, 6 different technologies. They're presented here. Again, you can see they range from actually being a floating vessel. That's what you'll find in places such as Bangkok and Jakarta. And you'll see other types of barriers and interceptors that we use around the world. And we continue to build out our portfolio of river solutions based on our experience and the data that we collect. As mentioned, we have a number of river deployments currently around the world. We have in 9 different locations, 9 different countries, more than 20 interceptors. This is a small snapshot of a few. They range from Los Angeles, California, to Jakarta, Vietnam, Bangkok, and a number of places in Central and Latin America. But since today we're here to focus on innovation and technology, I just want to reiterate that we actually aren't just focused on rivers or plastic in oceans. We're actually thinking hard about plastic as a set of data. So it's important for us to analyze data to understand the distribution and behavior of plastic. We need to predict where it's going to go so we can place the interception devices and solutions in the right place. And then we want to deploy the correct solution at that time. To give you a feel about how much data we're actually working with, in a single location, which is the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, this is a location the size of 2 times the size of Texas, or perhaps 3 times the size of Japan. We've estimated that there's 1.8 trillion pieces of plastic. So we have to really understand where that plastic is aggregating, what kind of plastic it is it submerged? Is it floating? Where does it come from? In order to do that, we've been developing for more than a decade now a system that's based on artificial intelligence to help us understand this analysis. This is what I'm going to spend the most of my presentation on today. We have what's called the Automatic Debris Imaging System, ADIS. This is a system that allows us to capture images of plastic using drones, airplanes, and in some cases, even ship-borne cameras, and analyze it. We also, for our river work, have what we call the river monitoring system. But let me share a few pieces of information about both of these systems. So what you're seeing here in this short video is an overhead aerial image of a bundle of plastic. You can see that some of them are aggregated. That first image has some netting to it, has maybe some floaters from aquaculture. But we really have to understand what that actually is. So I'm now going to play a short video describing ADIS, which is a UN Ocean Decade endorsed project.
Imagery can be a really good tool to gather data on large floating plastics. However, it was only on one flight and it's not very scalable. And this got us thinking, how can we use technology to gather this kind of data at an even larger scale?
And that's how ADIS was born. ADIS stands for Automated Debris Imaging System.
It's an intelligent camera system that uses AI on board. It's a very easy system to install on any ship, and it's also highly robust.
In order to fulfill its purpose, ADIS needs to be out on the ocean as much as possible, and nothing sees more of the ocean than ships. With ADIS on board, vessels become part of a massive research network, helping to expand global coverage of plastic pollution studies. The camera's GPS ensures that it turns on automatically only once the ship is no longer in an exclusive economic zone. So, once the vessel is offshore, ADIS gets to work by capturing and processing images. The integrated AI identifies plastic waste in the water and, to save space, retains only the relevant parts of the image. When the vessel is close to shore, it transmits the data to the ADIS database. From there, specialized software combines all collected data and maps it, generating the ADIS Data Visualization Map. To get to this version, Robin and his team first had to build a proof of concept using GoPros. Along with the expertise of Ozone Technologies, they improved it towards the current version, ADIS 2. ADIS is so groundbreaking that it's part of the United Nations Ocean Decade, as it offers a low-cost solution to monitor and digitally represent plastic debris concentrations in the ocean.
ADIS collects data continuously, and that allows us to build trends and to look into patterns through seasons, but even through years. And this allows us to see if cleanup efforts or cleanup policies have an effect.
The best part is that this data will be available open source for everyone to use in the coming years.
So that is an introduction to ADIS. We're very proud of this system, of course, because it helps us really work hard in the ocean. But just to give you a feel, again, of the challenge of collecting data in the ocean, I have a very short video of my colleagues that were actually out with drones capturing such imagery. Oh, I think I need to go.
You ready? Launch it.
We're the fixed-wing research drone pilots, and we're flying this airplane-style drone out over the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. We're taking a series of overlapping photos, and then we bring them together into a GIS software, and we post-process them with artificial intelligence algorithm. Altitude's 57, airspeed 62, battery 24.37. Good satellites, good signal. 1,200 meters from home. Nice! Got it! Alright, I'm gonna come to this other side.
So we use drones because it's as you'd understand, it's very expensive for us to use aircraft out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. We also have sensors, as I mentioned, built into our ocean solution. And that's a quick image here of the barrier. You'll see that we are... Got it? Oh. This is an example of the imagery that we're watching when our solution is out.
We always try to find the spots here in the Great Pacific Garbage Patch with the highest plastic density, and we call those hotspots. We have computational modelers. They look at waves and current, and they are getting better and better at predicting where in this vast ocean the plastic density will be the highest.
It's all about using models and other type of data like GPS, satellite-based measurement, all those kind of things putting together to try to maximize the plastic when encounter in the field, to maximize the plastic catch, meaning steering, directing the system as efficiently as possible to have as much plastic as possible.
So that was a look at how we use artificial intelligence, drones, and image capture in our ocean cleanup operations. I'd now like to take just a few minutes in my last 5 or 6 minutes to share a little bit more about how we use technology and artificial intelligence in our river cleanup activity. It's a very similar system, although this time we are using fixed cameras. We will usually place cameras on top of bridges or on buildings that are near the rivers in which we're planning to work. We collect data for a variety of, again, purposes: size, frequency, seasonality, and we use it and can categorize it so that it helps fill not only our gaps in knowledge so we can deploy the right system, but it's really interesting to be used by governments and local government units as well, because they're trying to understand their own plastic problems. So what happens, I think this is sort of like a live version of what the system's actually collecting. It's not particularly friendly for you and me to look at now, but you can see these percentages are the percentages, but the software is actually certain about its identification of what that component plastic is. Size, composition, submerged, not submerged. And this data, as I mentioned, is not just used by us, but it's actually used and quite valuable in the upstream policy design field that's in the province of governments, because they're trying to understand, first, how large their plastic pollution problem may be, and then as they introduce policies, they want to measure to see if they're effective. So we have this feedback loop. So to conclude, the ocean cleanup doesn't just collect plastic. We collect a lot of data. And data, we believe, is key to help combat the plastic pollution problem in marine environments worldwide. Artificial intelligence is an increasingly valuable and important tool to help us accelerate the collection of data, automate the analysis, and then allow us to integrate that analysis of data into our policy and technology solutions. So I think with that, I'll thank you for your interest. I'm eager to hear from Maeda-san and Soraya-san about really some interesting work that they've done with technology on the same issue here in Japan. But I'd like to thank you for this opportunity. Yamamoto-san?
Thank you, Mori-san, for the great actions of Blue Ocean, the ocean cleanup. Thank you so much. And next, I would like to invite Mr. Maeda from Tsushima City to the stage.
皆さんこんにちは。ご紹介いただきました対馬市 SDGs 戦略課の前田と申します。今日は私日本語でスピーチしますので、I speak in Japanese. Okay, let's me start my presentation.
Thank you so much.
はい、皆様改めましてこんにちは。対馬市 SDGs 戦略課の前田と申します。本日はこのような素晴らしいステージに登壇させていただき、ありがとうございます。今日のクロストークの話題提供として、私が暮らす長崎県対馬という国境離島の海洋プラスチックの現状と対策についてお話をさせてください。対馬は日本海の入り口に位置しておりまして、海流と地形、そして気象条件が重なり、膨大な海洋プラスチックゴミが漂着します。まさにグローバルな海洋プラスチックのチョークポイントと呼べるような島です。どのような状況かといいますと、海岸はこのように海洋ゴミで埋め尽くされています。その量たるや毎年3万から4万立方メートルもの海洋ゴミが漂着します。これは対馬の子どもたちがふるさとの海岸をきれいにしようと清掃している写真です。この光景を見るにつけ、未来世代に私たちはこのツケを回してはならないと、そう強く感じます。これは今週の月曜日に対馬の中学生と海岸清掃を行いました。この生徒たちはですね、6月28日ブルーオーシャンドームのこの舞台で美しい海岸を取り戻すために団結しようと宣言をし、身近で取り組めるアクションを起こしています。このように子どもたちは未来を諦めず、未来に希望を持って海をきれいにしようとしています。なので皆さん、私たち大人も諦めずにこのようなプラスチック汚染をなくしていくために、私たちもこのブルーオーシャンドームで団結していこうじゃありませんか。さて、対馬市ではサラヤ様をはじめ企業、団体の皆様と循環経済モデルとしての対馬モデルを共同で開発し、6月18日、ここでその成果を発信いたしました。対馬モデルは主に再生技術、製品設計、海洋プラスチックの回収、流出防止のイノベーション、この3つを進めることで、対馬、関西から未来の循環型社会を目指すことを目標として取り組んでまいりました。今日ここではですね、3つのイノベーションのうち、再生技術、そして回収、流出のイノベーションに触れたいと思います。はい。年1回、対馬市では、漁業者の方々の協力を得ながら、毎年約8000立方メートルもの海洋ゴミを回収し、島の中央部にある処理施設に運搬しています。その処理施設では、最終処分場に運ぶ量をですね、減らすために、原用処理、細かく砕いて原用処理をします。で、その再資源化できるものについては、企業などの要望に応じて供給をしています。2017年以降、このようにボールペンであるとか、買い物かご、ゴミ箱など、 さまざまな製品の原料として活用されています。しかしですね、再資源化できているのは回収した海洋ゴミの約 10% にしか過ぎません。このような漁網やロープは分別処理できずに、このような対馬のですね、美しいリアス式海岸の谷間に埋められています。これは大量生産、大量廃棄、この現代社会の利便性の裏側としての実に悲しい光景だというふうに思っています。対馬モデルにおける再生技術のイノベーションについては、サラヤ様の子会社であるブルーオーシャン対馬が海洋ゴミの最適な処理方法を開発し、実証実験に取り組んでいます。離島はですね、経済合理性が低いんです。日本で一番海洋プラスチックゴミがたくさん流れ着く島というふうに言われていますけども、海洋ゴミだけではスケールメリットが低い。そのために島内の廃棄物も合わせて処理することで経済性を高めようという点、それから数値目標として CO2 を削減するということを目標に掲げている点がですね、この再生技術のイノベーションで注目すべきポイントとなっています。最後に回収流出防止のイノベーションについてです。世界の人口は増え続けています。その一方、対馬の人口は急減しています。つまりは増え続けるプラスチックを誰が回収するのか、誰が処理をするのかという問題にですね、私たち対馬は悩まされています。現状でも流れ着く4分の1しか回収できていません。少子高齢化によって回収できない地区も出てきました。そうした厳しい過疎化に加えてですね、確実にプラスチックゴミは増えています。OECD の最新のレポートでは海洋プラスチックゴミは倍増するというふうに言われています。したがって効率的な回収技術を開発して実践せねばなりません。実はオーシャンクリーンナップと対馬市はいろいろご縁がありました。10年前にですね、対馬沖で洋上回収の装置をですね設置して、そのプロトタイプを設置してですね、効果を実証しようと、実は駐日オランダ大使館で共同事業協定書をですね提出したことがございました。残念ながら諸事情によってですね、対馬での実証実験は見送りになったんですけれども、私としては対馬の特性や課題を踏まえると、こうした回収技術の実証開発は必要だと感じています。ここは飛ばします。で、洋上でですね海洋ゴミを捉えつつ、レガシープラスチックですね、海岸に漂着したゴミがまた再漂流したりとか、あるいは紫外線でマイクロプラスチック化しますから、マイクロプラスチック化しないように回収することが非常に大事なんですが、対馬はですね海岸線がなんと 900km もあります。で、海岸にアプローチするのも困難です。そこでですね重機をこのように運んで効率的にですね回収したり、洋上でも回収できるようなマルチモーダルな回収技術の実証をですね、サラヤメディテックのエリック CEO が検討いただいています。で、時間となりましたので、最後に私から一つ話題提供です。日本では急激に人口が減っています。国境離島はなおさらです。で、人口が減る中において増え続けるプラスチックに対してどうやって向き合うのか。で、新たな海洋ゴミの回収の仕組みとしてですね、実は先週9月19日に対馬市の SDGs 連携協定企業であるアスクル株式会社とともにですね、海来るというですね新たなプログラムの方をこの場で公表させていただきました。これはですね、賛同する企業が特定の海岸をできる範囲で回収して、それをデータ化ですね、可視化して、それをですね元にその海岸を守り続けるというですね 他企業が参画して海をきれいにする、プログラムです。で、企業にですね、労力もお金も提供いただき、離島ですから財源も人も少なくなっています。そこで企業にそういった財源や労力を、提供いただいて、全量回収できていない、あるいは拾えなくなっている、プラスチックゴミを回収していこう、そういった新たな取り組みも、進められたらというふうに思っています。私からの話題提供は以上です。ご清聴ありがとうございました。
前田さんありがとうございました。Thank you, Mr. Maeda, and thank you, Mr. Maeda. Thank you for the talk. And please welcome Mr. Saraya to the stage. サラヤ社長お願いします。
今日どうも。Thank you very much for coming, especially the Monty and Iona from the Ocean CleanUP. This is an honor to have you here, and you are the most collecting organization from ocean plastic from the ocean. We are very proud of you that you do actual work, not the words, but the actions that take garbage out of the ocean. But this is Maeda-san's family. I asked her to use this picture because I know his hope is to let the beautiful beach to the next generation, to his children. So I always use this film in the start in thanking to Maeda-san. Thank you very much. Why do I make this Blue Ocean Dome? Everybody says, you are crazy, your business is not collecting plastic. But why do you do that? Because this is Blue Ocean Dome. Because there's my friend, his name is Marco Simone. He's an entrepreneur of Switzerland. He makes a lot of money by his IT business. He likes water of the sea. He made his ship to go around the world. This is called Race for Water ship. And its ships runs by solar, wind, and hydrogen, all 100% renewable energy. And they visited many places in the world for the campaign of plastic. So this is, you are there in Santo Domingo, but their rivers are very much polluted with the plastics and garbages because there's no system to collect garbages. People throw it onto the river, then it is washed away from the river. だから川へね、みんな捨てるんですよ。で、これがね、世界でものすごく多いんで、The Ocean CleanUP も戦略変えても川から出るやつを回収しようというのは今世界30都市でね、やり始めてるのはこのことなんです。ということで、すごく汚れてる。これ後でよ。これはインドネシア。インドネシアは世界で一番汚いリバーということを You tap in the worst, the most polluted river in the world. You come up to the rivers of Indonesia. So Indonesia is also. This is Maldives. Maldives is the beautiful islands of the ocean reserve. But they collect their garbages to one island. It is piled up for eight story of like a building. So モルディブはですね、ゴミの島作ってて勝手に燃えてるんですね。So in such a way, the plastic pollution is all over. Also, it is accumulated in the ocean. You have some place in Japan. This is, as they say, that garbage of plastics in the Pacific Ocean. Very much polluted. This is reported. But we have Tsushima, Maeda-san just explained, most polluted island by plastics in Japan. Why? Because the plastics comes from China, Taiwan, Korea, or some other places from other place than 対馬。対馬の人は汚してるんじゃなくて、よそのゴミがですね、自分のところの家の中にですね、ずっと流れ着いてきてるんです。これを対馬の人はけなげにですね、回収してきれいに残さないかんというので、This is illogical that the Tsushima people has to clean up their garbage coming from the other countries. Why? But because this is polluted. Thank you very much, Tsushima, for doing this. But we have to solve this by this. Then we had made a kind of visit by economy groups. This is the first time that I went there with the group because the current moves to Tsushima in this way. So we tried, wanted to have something, do it, before COVID. And many people, I will support you, Mr. Saraya, to make this kind of campaign in this expo. Because expo, you see 158 countries inside of the ring. Ring connects each other. In expo, we have peace, no war, nothing. But in the real world, there are war, conflicts, and also the carbon dioxide, as well as ocean plastics. And Maeda-san, as he said, there is 400 million tons per year made plastic is used and made. Probably 10% of them are released to the environment. That's why plastic pollution is growing more and more, although how much the ocean CleanUP collect, there are more floating in. So we need to make several tactics. ですので、4億ね、今4億トン以上世界中でプラスチック作って使ってます。10% ぐらいがですね、環境に出てると想像されているので、これをね、回収するのは非常に貴重なお仕事で大事なことだけど、解決するマルティタクティック、we need to make a kind of multi-tactics to the plastic pollution. So this is what we do. Tsushima makes Tsushima as a model, island model of Tsushima. So 関西再資源サラヤ関西経済同友会が連携協定を結びました。So we make a kind of joint project agreement with Tsushima City, the 3 companies and Association of Business Plan. Tsushima, we collect and find how do we find the ways. Tsushima and 23 and 24. Then one of the solution, there are lots of styrofoam comes to 対馬。対馬ではですね、いっぱい海ゴミが毎台3万リューベと言われてますけども、30,000 square meters is coming to 対馬。Lots of styrofoam is floating onto. So we make at this moment to make it compact, shrink in this way, so that we can process them in 対馬 and move out to make use of styrofoam outside of 対馬. Then this is starting. Then we make charcoal. We make other things. This is a ship. We made a company, and the president is Motoko Kawaguchi. The lady president is there. So we make a kind of tactics. And this machine is going to be installed in 対馬 in this year. They make plastic to make this kind of mix with the wood as well as plastics to make this kind of shape. This can be used in the iron industry for instead of using charcoal, we can use them for their reduction material, not the energy, not only the energy, but kangenzai, reduction material to making a good iron, so that we may need a little bit more let's say, quality control to assure the calories, shape, and also the let's say gravity of this material. So this is ongoing process, but we may need to collect the garbage by this way. And you saw Mr. Maeda's presentation. I hope this will be done probably next year to start with. I hope, because we need a budget to do that. And then I said we need a tactics. Not only the plastic, but the ocean itself. It has a problem of less fish, less seaweed, less everything causing problems in the ocean. This is a kind of also related program. So we need to make how to make this solution. We need to make a kind of group of stakeholder, which is called ocean initiatives, or Blue Ocean Initiatives group. In Tokyo, there are more than 100 corporations and groups and universities form a group to make us a stakeholder of ocean problem. So this is what we do now. In Expo, of course, we have Kenya Hara and Shigeru as a producer of this building. You saw it today. We are going on. But Dome C is very important because we are having seminars and network by this. And today I said we appreciate that Ocean CleanUP came, but other groups are coming, and also the smaller NPOs and everybody can be networked in the coming years. This is our hope that we do that in Blue Ocean Dome. This is a kind of ship that Mr. Eric Leclerc in France, he's a French naval architect, so he's making this kind of ship for us. This is Mr. Leclerc, and he's also making ships moved by renewable energies. So this project is going on. This is another campaign boat for sailboat for Blue Ocean project and the Blue Ocean initiatives, and it goes until 2030 with Nikkei newspaper. We're going to have a Blue Ocean forum tomorrow with Nikkei, because business is, I believe, business is very important. Of course, the Ocean CleanUP is not a business organization. However, they are organized in a business way. So business is very important to solve the social problems, because through business we make sales and profit, then the profit can reinvest again to the developments of the program. So we believe that business involvement is very important. Okay, one other subject, microplastic. Because we say in this dome, you take 2 plastic cards intake to your body, but as a matter of fact, we don't know there are problems. This is, I asked Mr. Sergey, the Russian Academy, regarding plastic problems and plastic research. He's an academist. 550 micrometer is a kind of limits that visible, invisible, but there are less than 7 micrometer. 7マイクロメーターってナノミクロメーターになるとですね、これ細胞膜通過する大きさなんですよ。これはね、怖いことで、プラスチックは最終的には二酸化炭素と水素になりません。がゆえにそれが自然界の中に残って細かくなって残ると体の中に入ってくるね、リスクがある。So I said there is a problem less than 7 micrometer plastic because it's it's get through the cellular of human. So it can be causing some problem we don't know yet. But this is a kind of problem that is proposed that there could be a problem by academic people. So we have to be very careful. Also the plastic problems. Mr. Tommy, who has the business of bioplastics in Indonesia, he made a lecture 2 weeks ago here about his product. I asked him, can I use your slides? He makes plastics out of cassava. And cassava with the farmers group. So they just give incentive to the farmers group and the farmers' wives. They make cassava and they make kind of plastic, bioplastic products. They are relatively very safe after decomposition, and they make a kind of advancement in making plastic bags or plastic things, everything, now bioplastics. And also, this is a kind of film that they put into the soil so they can be decomposed in the soil. So this is another way of solution that there's a plastic bag that they add oxim is a kind of their additives to the normal plastic, and they certify, we have to certify too, but that this is also helping the decomposition of the normal plastic so that it is decomposed in the soil, but in the weather condition of Indonesia. So this is what they do. So there's another initiatives now growing on. This is banana bag and everything. So we need a little bit the concept from in Japan. This is reduce, reuse, recycle, three-way of using plastic. But we must think a little bit more on the circular way of moving from 3R to circular in the plastic. So my company, Saraya Company Limited, also not 100%, but gradually, because we need to be sustainable too. But less plastic by bags, so we promote more bags and more bags. We decrease the volume by thinner bottles, less plastic. We use recycled plastics to my bottles. We use bioplastics to our bottles. And also we make new designs to make plastic bags. We make a kind of developments in a way that the policies for recycle and less plastics in a bottle. And we have a company called KSN. KSN got the license to process plastics there. So they use plastics to a material. Then we make plastic resins to make our bottles or some others. Then there's, partly a circular is going to take place. But we have to ask our customers to collect plastics. Maybe we can switch their volumes to which is called mass balance. We collect them, recycle in the other way, but we buy from somebody recycled to use our bottles, so we match the volumes like a carbon matching. So we do this kind of tactics. This is the factory of KSN. So I think by this we want to make a circular economy with the vision. Collect more plastics, maybe with collaboration, the groups like the Ocean CleanUP, or the way that the manufacturer that promote more bioplastics, or maybe somebody who collect more plastics from some, the model of Tsushima is very important to us because lots of garbages come from the islands of Indonesia and the Philippines. So I think by making this innovation in Tsushima, then we can expand this model to the islands of the... Then in the meanwhile, the Ocean CleanUp is collecting lots of garbage from the rivers that pollute the ocean. So I think in both ways, we can have some contribution to the less plastic, world in the ocean. So thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you, Mr. Saraya. サラメオ館長ありがとうございました。それではこの後少しセッションを行いますので、会場の準備をしますので少々お待ちください。
はい、じゃあセッションを始めるという山本さんのご指示ですので、Now we can start the sessions by the order of Mrs. Yamamoto. But I think you may want to say something, maybe you may want to highlight your some additional activities. Would you start with Mr. Monti?
Yes, Sarai-san, thank you very much. So, first off, I'd just like to congratulate you, Sarai-san, for your efforts and ZERI Foundation and all the corporations that are part of the Blue Ocean Initiative. It's important to have private sector, government, and consumer awareness and efforts to work on the problem of marine plastic pollution. I wanted to emphasize a point that you were very clear about, which is marine plastic pollution is an international problem. And as you rightly said, having the Ocean Dome here at the World Expo is a really unique opportunity to bring awareness that multiple countries have to work on this problem. And so what I wanted to mention is the Ocean Cleanup. We are focused on 30 cities around the world that we believe contribute the largest amount of plastic to our oceans. A number of them, as you rightly pointed out, are in Southeast Asia. And so we're very hopeful that our efforts in countries such as Indonesia, Philippines, Malaysia, and even Vietnam, that by turning off the tap of plastic in those countries will allow you or reduce the problem that Maeda-san and the citizens of Tsushima Island have to tackle in terms of reduction. So I just again wanted to thank you for emphasizing the global nature and the need to have international cooperation around plastic pollution.
今ですね、やっぱり国際的な、海って境目がないですよね。モンティさんはやっぱり国際的にね、協力をしていく必要があるし、国ってね、独立してるんだけど、国と国、もしくはね、団体と団体、そういうのを動かすのは我々の役割でもあると思うけど、前田さんはどちらかというと公的セクターなんで、いろいろ苦労してると思うけど、ぜひ日本語で結構ですので、今の感想なり苦労していることをね、ちょっともう一言付け加えて。
モンティさん、今日はありがとうございました。モンティさんのプレゼンテーションの中でポリシーメイキングですね、政策を立案する我々ルールを作る側にとってやっぱり税金を使うわけですから、やっぱり効果を最大化させるためにデータというものが本当に大事だということは今日はすごく分かりました。で、その我々もいろんな大学研究機関と連携してやってきたんですが、ザ・オーシャンクリーンアップのデータの取り方とその活用の仕方っていうのは、我々やっぱり行政が非常に今日学ぶべきものが多かったんではないかというふうに思うと、今日このような場を設けていただいたサイラヤ名誉館長には本当に感謝をしております。データをとことんやっぱり行政も活用していくために、今日最新技術を知れたので、実際持ち帰って対馬でも応用できたらと、ザ・クリーンオーシャンアップとですね連携できたらというふうに思っています。今日はありがとうございました。
Mr. Monti, you want to say something?
Well, I just wanted to thank Maeda-san. We have actually found that the interest in our data and the analysis solution is widespread. We were speaking during the conversations around the Global Plastic Treaty. We had conversations with the United Nations because they also are trying to understand how to set baselines and then track progress. So we would be very happy to explore opportunities to share data collection, analysis with the city of, or the island of Tsushima. Thank you.
対馬にもデータコレクションね、なんかちょっと協力してあげるよみたいなお話もあったんだけど、Mr. Monti, I think as Mr. Maeda says, the data is very important. Maybe there was, for example, there was Mr. Peter Thompson, who was the convoy of UN Ocean. ピーター・トムソンさんって UN オーシャンのボスがいるんですよ。フィジーの人ですけど、この方もここ来て喋ったんですけど、国連の海のことを全部取り仕切ってる人なんですね。 ですので、I think a person like him, he's very passionate to clean water. However, he has to be armed by the data, and because he respects scientific approach. So I think, as you said, your data can be, I mean, you want to make it as an open source, so which is very appreciative. But would you comment a little bit more about this?
Sure, thank you very much, sir. I often use the example of computers in the early days. Every laptop used to have a little sticker on the outside that said Intel inside. And what I'd like to see for the future is their ocean cleanup data is inside a lot of additional pieces of solutions, analysis, policy design. So we're very much excited about the opportunity to share information. I often arrive at presentations, particularly with government, and I say, you may think of the ocean cleanup as an expert in collecting plastic, but I said what we really are is an expert in collecting data. And that data is crucial information, as I said, to enable visionary individuals such as Soraya-san, Mr. Thompson, jurisdictions like the island of Tsushima, or just other organizations that have a desire to tackle this problem.
データのね、使い方非常に意味があって、これでもって議論しないといけないけど、I knew the numbers for this is the number of the plastic pollution in the ocean. It says 800 million tons per year in 2016, somebody, and China 350, Indonesia 120 million, and Philippines 65, Vietnam. Then I said to China, would you accept? Then they don't accept or they don't recognize at all. I think this is very important to know in a fair way that how much they distribute to the ocean, then some of them come to Tsushima. So how would you think?
So no, I concur. So as mentioned, marine plastic pollution is an international issue. In the Great Pacific Garbage Patch where we work, we find that 80% of the plastic that is there is actually abandoned, lost, or discarded fishing gear. That fishing gear comes from 5 countries primarily. It comes from the United States, Japan, Korea, China, and Taiwan. And we actually have a team that does forensic analysis of this fishing gear. We're trying to understand if it has been intentionally cut and discarded, accidentally lost. But we're working with some other solution providers to deploy a network of floating buoys to track how that fishing gear actually moves through Pacific Ocean so that we can then go back to China and the other countries with solid evidence or solid data to explain what we're seeing, where it's coming from, and how we can verify that it's actually coming from China. I will say one other comment about China. It is a jurisdiction, a country that's difficult sometimes to get them to agree that they are contributing to the problem. But we have found recently China has become much more interested in supporting cleanup activities in countries in Southeast Asia. Now, of course, they have a geopolitical interest in the background, but we've been very happy to sort of have those conversations about countries such as the Philippines, Indonesia, Vietnam, where they're interested to serve as a donor or contributor to our efforts there.
太平洋ガーベパッチを見るとですね、大体アメリカ、日本、韓国、台湾、中国の漁具が多いらしいんですね。漁具がどういうふうにして漁具が出たかと、自然にカットしてね流されたのか、いろんな理由でね他の理由で流されたか分かんないんで、これからこういう分析してるけど、こういうデータをちゃんと揃えて、ポリシーにね、ポリシーというか国とか 政策決定している人にもお伝えするというね、国連にもちゃんとそういうデータをもとに議論しませんかと。で中国も最近はですね、東南アジアに中国過去のデータが一番多いんですよ。さっき言ったように350っていうのはミリオントンが単位はまた言います800万トンのうちですね、350が中国ということになっておるけれども、最近協力してくれるらしい。How about India? Do you have any symptom in India? Because China, India, big population, must be lots of garbage coming out.
Yes, we actually have a solution that's going into the river in Mumbai. The local environment in Mumbai is very complicated. A large number of small tributary streams in a very dense urban setting. However, we have a partner there, and the solution should be in the water probably early 2026. The data and analysis team has been at work. We know where it will be placed. But the other complexity in a nation such as India is that there are multiple government jurisdictions involved in rivers. So you first work with the national government, you work with the state government, you work with the municipal government, and then you also work with the local communities. So if you look at our 30-city strategy going forward, the markets where the largest number of rivers or activity for us include Indonesia as number 1, Philippines almost at the top, number 2, India, and Brazil. These are the markets that, if you just took it by nation, are the ones that we're focused on for the next 5 years. And in that 5-year strategy, our 30-city strategy, we hope that by 2030, we will reduce the amount of plastic entering the oceans by 1/3.
インドどうなってるのって、中国も人口多いんで、当然プラスチックね、たくさん使いますよね。でインドどうなのって聞くと、世界30都市の、ね、今戦略持ってるうちで、ムンバイの川もですね、このプロジェクトやりたいと。でインドって国があるけど、地域も政策が強いので、ムンバイの川、またその支流でいうといろいろぐちゃぐちゃしてるけど、来年2026年の早い時期にこれをね実行したいというねお話で、特にストラテジックにはインドでしょ、インドネシアでしょ、フィリピンでしょ、ブラジルでしょ、この4カ国、4 countries, right, that you make targets of.
For priority countries. We have 30 cities, so you'll see us continue to be active in Guatemala, Honduras, and other places, but the maximum return occurs from those 4 main countries.
そのね、あと中南米とかいろいろ国おっしゃいましたけど、そういうところでもやってます。30シティね。今日はボイヤンさんは、ホンジュラスかな。Today ボイヤン、ホンジュラスの大統領がなんかそこ来るので、そっち行かないといけないので、これない、すいませんいう感じで美声くれたんですけど。前田さん、sorry.
Well, let me make a small comment because I heard you talking to the audience about Honduras. And I think it's really a wonderful example of a theme that you mentioned earlier and that Maeda-san has also emphasized, the international nature of plastic and plastic pollution. So the rivers that contribute most of the plastic to the Gulf of Honduras actually come from Guatemala. So you have a country, Honduras, that is the downstream recipient, much like Tsushima Island is, from its neighbors. And so by putting our interceptors on the Guatemalan rivers, we are actually cleaning up the entire Bay of Honduras. And so you will soon see a very special celebration with the President of Honduras, Ms. Castro, the President of Guatemala, and our founder, Mr. Boyan Slot, to celebrate the cleaning of the Gulf of Honduras.
ホンジュラス湾というのがあって、そこのこの、ね、石油をこう皆でこうちゃんと作るというお祝いの、会なんですけれども、上流がガテマラなんで、ガテマラとホンジュラスの結果がホンジュラス湾に来ているというので、2カ国が two countries get together in this way of harmony で一緒になってゴミを解決するということをね、オーシャンクリーンアップのプロジェクトで実現したと。Realized by your project。前田さん、ちょっとさ、Mr. Maeda, I like to ask you, because you mentioned a little bit the collaboration with the ocean cleanup. So what was the aim and why was it stopped, if you know?
もう2015年10年前ですから、当時私が聞くところによると、オーシャンクリーンアップのアレイですね、プロトタイプの設置にあたって、アンカリング固定の方法等でやっぱりプロトタイプとしては実証実験の条件が合わなかったので、カリフォルニア沖の方でやりましょうということになったというふうに聞いてます。はい。
わかりました。10年前ってまだだいぶ前やからね、もう。
Well, but I'd like to share some comments because I think, again, this is a demonstration of the maturing of the ocean cleanup. You know, we realized we were founded on the idea to clean the oceans. We also were founded with a mission to put ourselves out of business because we hope sometime between policies, innovations such as those that ZERI company is making, public education, that plastic pollution will be a smaller problem. We're not there yet. But we realized at the ocean cleanup that we could clean plastic out of the ocean really well, and we can do it really well. But if we don't turn off the tap of new plastic, we will never be able to put ourselves out of business. We will just be continuing to clean, which is important, and be important, of course, to Tsushima Island and the communities around the world. But if we focus on trying to control the source of the plastic by going to the rivers, such as those in China, Indonesia, Philippines, that we can actually have a bigger impact in the medium and long term than if we can by cleaning. So at some point, we would love to come back to help clean Tsushima Island, but until we turn off the tap, it wouldn't be as long-term efficient or productive for all of us.
ザ・オーシャンクリーンアップもね、いろいろ戦略があって、この度はちょっと無理だったんだけど、また来てくれる可能性もあるし、Do you have any, I mean, your business strategy is to clean up directly from the rivers or ocean. Do you have your business model to send or sell your system to somebody?
So the Ocean Cleanup is a non-profit organization. So when people ask, I always have to sort of smile. We don't have a business model. We work with the generosity of philanthropic partners and corporate partners who want to fund and support our research and development and then our system implementations. So we work by, every time we deploy in a river, we have raised enough money internally to not only pay for the analysis, but of the technology itself, and then for 5 years of operation of that technology. And then we operate on what we call a build, operate, transfer model. So after 5 years, we turn over the solution to the local government partner or the community partner, because we have felt by then they will have seen the benefits and they will also have understood the operation. And so we don't actually ever endeavor to license our technology. We don't sell our technology. We really see our role as being innovators in the data, technology, design, and we want to show the world how our solutions can help improve not just marine environments, but also job opportunities for fishing communities, cleaner beaches for the tourism industry, and others, and let the world then help proliferate and take that forward.
今ちょっとお聞きしたんですけど、そのテクノロジーって売らないのってお聞きしたら、こちらはですね、フィランソロフィーでお金を皆さんからいただいて、 実際にその装置を作って5年間ねちゃんとオペレーションして5年した後はその地域の例えば前田さんとこの政府というか対馬市にそのシステムをお任せしますという形ではねやっていく予定があるらしいです。でデータを集める手法とかイノベーションとか、そういった面ではですねそのアイデンティティがクリーンアップするだけでない、いろんなことをおっしゃったんですけれども、当面ですね技術をそういう形でまずは実際に広めてそれを引き渡すというねこういうことをやってらっしゃるということでしたです。Okay.
I have one question, Soraya-san, for yourself and Mr. Maeda-san. Well, let me start first with a compliment. Earlier today, after I had toured with my colleague, Ms. Van Neerten, your Blue Ocean Dome, which is really a fabulous venue, I saw a ceremony, and you were acknowledging the 1 millionth visitor to your facility. And so I just realized this is an incredible education opportunity. And so when I also reflect on Maeda-san's presentation, and he's talking about the youth, this is so critical that the future generations are not just left with the problem, but they are activated and educated about the problem. So I guess my question to you both is, in addition to your vision and your efforts to help educate the youth, do you have a feeling that the younger generations in Japan, do they have a close kinship with the ocean? Do they feel motivated? What else can we do to help activate these really powerful and clever young people in the future?
海の子どもたち若い方にですね、どういうふうにモチベーションを与えてどういうふうに育成していくかみたいなところ、どうなんですかねという話で、前田さんからいきますか、私からいきましょうか。じゃあ私 I see that lots of young people actually contributes to the cleanup by themselves, beach cleanup and things. I think they're more motivated than our age. Our age, I have a pain in the back and they don't want to come. But their age, they are very willingly to come. They know the meaning, but they don't know except collecting what to do. They teach their father, don't put their butts on the road. This is plastic. So I think younger generation is better, and this is our role to teach and make them realize there's a problem and we have to solve them.
I think the youth of Japan is very fortunate to have leaders such as yourself and Maeda-san that can help guide them and continue to excite them and emphasize the importance.
And on the other hand, I think I don't deny plastics. Plastic could be changed by bioplastics or by anything, but there are lots of plastic that cannot be changed, very much tools. Maybe we will gradually to be innovative to change them, but I don't deny plastic at this moment.
No, I concur. Plastic has changed our lives in so many ways and so critical. I mean, health, transportation. And the other sort of point I'd like to add to that is that many people think because much of the plastic pollution starts in Indonesia, Philippines, that the citizens of those countries are less responsible. The honest fact is that in general, I have a belief, I'm optimist, humans want to do the right thing for the environment. But these countries where you have rapid urbanization, you have sudden increase in wealth, they don't have waste management systems. So it's not that Indonesians are less thoughtful about garbage or plastic. It's just that the countries haven't caught up to their level of growth, so they have no other option. So this is why the ocean cleanup, I often describe it as we are trying to keep the size of the problem manageable, or from a medical perspective, we're trying to keep the size of the tumor manageable until changes in upstream policy, changes in downstream value chains, such as those that Soraya Corporation is inventing with bioplastics and other alternatives can come into play.
ということで、プラスチックのですね、じゃあオーシャンクリーンアップは、なんていうかな、がんであったらがんがマネージャブルに小さくなるようにまではするけれども、それをやってるのは私どもの仕事なのと、インドネシアとかですね、彼らもただゴミを捨ててるというよりも、ゴミ処理の施設がないのと、そういうことの上にあってですね、急激に経済が発展しているので、これを侵釈した上で、我々はまずはソリューションを具体的に3分の1にするようなね、ことをやってるということなんで、彼らが決して悪気があって捨ててるということではなくて、やっぱり社会システムとか、背景にあるものもあるので、こういうことを前提として、理解をね、してあげたいなということを言ってらっしゃったように。I just explained because I fully agree your speech. 前田さんどうですかね、子どもたちとか若い方への教育とか。
そうですね、今もお話があったように海洋プラスチックのゴミの問題を子どもたちが学ぶ際にやっぱり一見プラスチックイコール悪者っていうふうに捉えがちなんですけども、やっぱり人類の発展っていうのは1950年代以降プラスチックとともに歩んできましたし、絶対切り離すことができない必要なものですから、子どもたちが誤って捉えないようにやっぱり向き合い方、正しくプラスチックを使ってやっぱり大事に長持ち使えるようにしていく、そういったですね教育も合わせてやっていく。で、それから日本だけが悪い、その海外だけが悪いっていうことではなくて、日本も、カリフォルニア沖であるとかアメリカ沖に流しているかもしれない。だから被害者でもあり加害者でもあるんだよ。でそういったこともですねメッセージ性を伝えるっていうことも我々子どもたちに教育をする上で大事なメッセージとなっていますけれども、日本ではこういう島国であっても多くの子どもたちが今都市部に住んでますから、オーシャンブラインドネスという言葉もありますように、なかなかこの問題に実感を持てない子どもたちが多いんですね。対馬の子どもたちは風景が当たり前になっているんですけども、そうでない子どもたちが圧倒的に多いので、その実感を持てない子どもたちに対してどういうふうにそれをリアリティを持って伝えられるかっていうことが我々課題だというふうに思ってますので、この万博をきっかけに奈良県の子どもたちと対馬の子どもたちがオンラインで交流学習をしながら、同世代の子どもたちがこれだけ大変な目に遭ってるんだっていうことを同世代の目線で伝えることでリアリティを持つっていうような学習を展開しましたけれども、やっぱり子どもたちは非常に純粋なのでそうしないといけない、それがこれから当たり前になるんだっていうことをですね、しっかり学んでいったっていう点では、このESD ですね、環境教育については今後もっともっと力を入れるべき課題であるなというふうに思っています。はい、
さすがやっぱりね、現場やってらっしゃるだけあって、リアリティがねないというのはこれ非常に怖いことなんで、これをできるだけね対馬見学も含めて我々もねご協力できればいいかなと思っております。Okay, this is closing in 5 minutes or 4 minutes. Would you like to add your comment or anything for the 1 or 2 comments for the closing?
Of course. Well, first off, once again, I'd like to thank you for this incredible honor to be present here at the Blue Ocean Dome and share with you the story of our use of technology to activate the world's largest cleanup. But the final theme I really want to emphasize is that you have convened the exact portfolio of stakeholders. We have the private sector visionary, we have the government leaders, and then we have an organization as a nonprofit that's trying to make the change. But collectively, we can only make change at scale if all three of us work together. So you've done a really wonderful job to gather all the right categories of groups together. So thank you.
前田さん、私最後にコメントしますので。
今日はありがとうございました。対馬には毎年3万から4万立方メートルもの膨大な海洋ゴミが集まってきます。で、たったですね4分の1しか回収できないんです。で、毎年回収してもあっという間に翌年元に戻ってしまう、元に戻るどころかもっとひどくなってるんですね。で、そういった中、 ザ・オーシャンクリーンアップが元を止めるというところで、アジアの河川でそれを流出を塞いでいる。で、そういったものがですね、対馬、海外からの海洋ごみが9割ですから、やはり東南アジアや東アジアの河川から流れてくる。で、私の肌感覚なんですが、やっぱり気候変動によって台風であるとか豪雨災害の後にたくさん流れてきているんではないかというふうに感じていますので、気候変動も合わせて、考えていかないといけないんですが、そういったアジアの河川からですね止めていただいているということに対しては非常に感謝を申し上げます。で、毎年毎年対馬の子どもたち、対馬の漁業者が毎年拾ってもですねいたちごっこなんですよ。で、そういった中で喉元を止める、それから皆さんプラスチック汚染防止条約のですね政府間交渉が2回も先送りになりました。そうしている間もどんどん海洋プラスチックごみが海に流れ出て対馬のような島に漂着するわけです。で、一刻も早くですねこのプラスチック汚染を防止するために、今日ザ・オーシャンクリーンアップから河川から、それから洋上の回収ということでですね大きなヒントと刺激をいただきましたので、今日モンティさんと、それからこの場を作っていただいたサラヤ社長、それからフロアの皆様に感謝を申し上げます。今日はどうもありがとうございました。
じゃあ、私、最後の言葉、短くです。I would like to thank again to the Ocean Cleanup, Monty and Yona, to come here to speak out. This is very important to us because we admire you because you are one of the largest collector, actually, not by theory. You are not only by saying, but you are actually collecting plastics from the ocean. And you are very successful to get charities from your donors of, money or everything, technologies or just. But in this way, the Ocean Cleanup is the most active organization who contributes to the cleanup. But I think we have to learn from them how the data are important. Then we can maybe utilize them in a way to the more public concern, for the concern, especially for the governmental rules as well as global rules by United Nations or whatever so on. So I think the initiatives is usually led by the government because their body is very big. But the initiatives can be started by organization, private business, NPO, and the government, local government, but smaller organization have to show. I think this ocean problem is much complicated because fishing gear, there are many. But the fishing gear, the fisherman says, we cannot get any more fish, so there's no fishing gear. Then there's a land fish cultures now in the business. だからちょっとだけ言うと、今フィッシングギアのね、ウミガメ多いんですよ。ネットとかですね。ところが漁師さんも魚取れないんで、廃業じゃ言うてる人多いんですね。ビジネスはですね、鮭の養殖とか陸上養殖に走ってるビジネスもあるんですね。ですので問題は単純ではなくて、みんなはもうつながってるので、我々はつながってることも理解しながら問題解決に向かっていく。同じようにですね、not only Japan, China, big countries, but rather small countries, small islands, they are the stakeholders. And also the small businesses, fishermen, and you said you just give employment for collecting plastic in another phase of your activities. So you want to say something? I allow you to say, please. No, after me. So こういうのをブルーオーシャンドームを起点にですね、また皆さんが考えていただいて、まあね、それで子どもさんもそうだけど、やっぱり実際にやることが大事なんで、I think this is important that we actually do something to pick up garbage from the floor. This is a very good action. Not just to clean the room. This is good, but this is better to pick up something from the floor. So I think in this way, I appreciate your activities and also the future collaboration in some way. So 今日はありがとうございます。Just one word, Mr. Monty, because I see you. You want to say something. Then これで終わります。
I just again want to thank you for your vision and leadership and for convening this wonderful panel together. So thank you.
わかりました。それではですね、これにて終わります。今日はどうもありがとうございました。